Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Gorman, joined as always by my partner in crime and certified pickleball referee. I can't speak anymore, Victor Chan. And we have a special guest today, Vic, of our first member we're interviewing of Team Canada going to the World Cup, Ryan Torrisen. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Thanks for
So
having me,
quick,
guys.
Absolutely. So a quick intro for everyone who doesn't know who Ryan is. He is 3 years in the CNPL, MVP last year for the London Smash, the London Smasher, currently in first place, and he just signed a new PPA contract. So unfortunately, well, bittersweet, this will be his last year in the CNPL. And also, he just added a new addition to his family a little while ago. So congrats to that. That's always the most important thing for us here.
Congrats, Ryan.
So Ryan, this has been like the last 24 months. This has been like the year of Ryan Torrance, and just like everything's like you got the new contract, your team's been playing awesome, you've been playing awesome, of course, the new addition to the family. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, I feel great. Really can't complain. Everything's going well, on the family side. Everything's been going great on the pickleball side. It's just everything's sort of aligned up. Everything's great. Never would have thought I would ever have, I guess, even got to this place in the sport. I didn't even know that I really was going to play the sport until my wife sort of, got me into it, coming from the golf side of things. Playing college golf and doing some little mini pro tour stuff. But it's cool. It's awesome. I love pickleball and I love the pickleball community. So yeah.
That's perfect. So that actually that's funny with you saying that you kind of answered the first question. I was because we always start off with everyone on the podcast. How'd you get into it? But you just kind of said that here. So I'll switch it to a different one. You actually also got to represent Canada at the MOP event in Grand Rapids a month or so ago. How was that experience playing with, especially with all those super high level PPA pros, and just representing the country in that fashion?
Yeah, it was really cool. Representing Canada in any fashion, always was a goal of mine, regardless of what sport I played growing up. So yeah, super cool opportunity. So glad I was able to be on the team. Then obviously, playing those top PPA people, a lot of them are friends of mine. I was telling you earlier, I get to train a lot with them since I do have a place down in Florida. So, it was cool, being on the scene, having eligibility to compete since I wasn't a signed player then. So yeah, it was a cool opportunity. Glad I was able to take advantage of it. Our teammates were awesome. All the coaches, everybody who brought it together, was great. And super cool opportunity. And I learned a ton from it. So all great positive experience.
That's awesome. All right, Vic, go ahead.
Yeah, so another more in-depth question about your kind of your pro career. How would you I know you've been at kind of a very very high level, and you have been playing a lot of those PPA event. How's your kind of your training and work regimen? How do you able to balance that, and then now able to kind of fully switch to pro pickleball?
Yeah, kind of at first it was, like I said, my wife sort of got me into it. I was really just playing at the park with her for the first, I want to say, like 3, 4 months, just hitting around at the park. I really didn't know what was what. And then kind of had a close friend be like, hey, like you seem like you're pretty good. You should play, in some tournaments, played in a couple. And then next thing you know, I was winning 5-0 tournaments like pretty early on. And then I was like, all right, like what's next? And then I really got into the APP side of things, which was great. And then I really started kind of going full time about like 2 years ago, a year and a half. And I'm kind of been training, honestly, I'm about 2 hours in the gym every single day. Lifting and training, cardio, sort of a huge part of what I do. I always try to get bigger, faster, and stronger. And then on the training side of things, I usually drill between maybe 3 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day, and then play for 2 hours on top of that. So I'm around almost 8 hours a day between everything I do. And that doesn't even include the recovery that I try to do at home, taking care of the bodies, obviously very important, especially after a weekend like we just had in the CMPL. I was in the gym stretching, getting massages done today. I'm just trying to stay on top of that. So yeah, it's kind of like a full-time job. So I love it.
Indeed, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That indeed is a lot of that dedication. Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you want.
All right. What why would you pick PPA over APP? It's a tricky question, but I'll ask.
Yeah, no. As I say, I've been with the APP. I say I played like a little over a year on the APP. I've been doing great. Love the vision they have. I love all of the players. I live with a couple of the players in Florida. It just seemed like PPA is just really where I wanted to be. I want to play against the best players. It seemed to me over the last like year and a half. I think the APP players, a lot of the top players are just as good as the top players on the PPA. But I think just the vision that the PPA has, the social media presence, the TV presence, the deals, it seems like that's going to continue to grow. I know a lot of people on it, just the amount of money that's pouring in, the recognition it gets within MLP outside of PPA is just massive compared to, sort of what the APP is. So I just felt like for me and my family with having the baby, the vision of like what I have to do and where my PPA events are, 95% of them will be in the US where I'm living, which is a lot easier for, my family and I, instead of where the APP, the beginning of the year now was more like abroad and, Vietnam, Malaysia, which would have been really cool. But, just being at the place where we are in our life right now with a new baby girl, it just seemed like the right time, the right offer. And sort of all the stars aligned. So.
Oh, definitely agree, especially like just like getting a sponsorship deal and everything. If the more exposure you get, the better it is, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and obviously your hard work has paid off. Like I remember us getting to chat with you in Edmonton 2 years ago when you first came into the league, and just watching your growth has just been exponential. So the work you've been putting in has been clearly paying off, obviously. But it's been a pleasure to watch you grow over these last 3 seasons, and just now seeing everything coming your way now, all that hard work paying off. It's been awesome.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
So the one cool thing this year with the World Cup in Vietnam is that because the previous year they had a duper cap at 5.5, so a lot of you guys weren't obviously eligible to play because a lot of you were higher than that. So this year, with that being removed, now you have a team with like you, Ernesto, Matt, Jada, and Sophie, Luis. Like it's basically a CNPL all-star team. Like now you do have Anne Sophie and now Ernesto on your team now. But what is it like now getting to play against some of these, or play with now as a team, some of these super high level players that you're normally battling against throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be cool. So I actually went down last year. I was down there training when they had the World Cup, and I was down there the one day supporting the team, and I thought it was super cool. And, I made like a little joke to Jade. I'm like, I wish they would open this up next year, hopefully, to like unlimited duper type things, where like the best players in our country, the best players in the CMPL can all play. And then when I heard they did, and then was selected to be a part of the team, I'm like, wow, this is going to be such a cool opportunity. I know I've been talking a little trash with a bunch of the other countries, a bunch of the guys on the US team. They're stacked with a bunch of great players, some of them I room with. It's going to be great going down there and seeing the best of the best, representing every country. And it's obviously going to be a war. It's going to be super fun, but competing alongside all of those names that you mentioned from Team Canada is going to be really special. I'm close with basically all of them and have played a bunch of tournaments in the States with all of them. So it'll be cool to, unite and all play as one for a main goal for our country. And obviously trying to get on the podium would be super special and super cool.
Absolutely. Go ahead,
Definitely.
Vic.
Yeah, so definitely representing Canada's always athlete dream. I'll say, is it considered as maybe one of your bucket lists to do so?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I first got into it, I never knew where pickleball would take me. And then when I first heard about the World Cup last year and I knew the team was going and there were restrictions, I was like, wow, wouldn't it be like so cool just to, play for your country or have like a team event where, they select and, you can be a part of, all of the best players and represent your country and play. And then, the opportunity came and I'm like, wow, this is something, I never really dreamed of playing but now that I'm a part of it, like I'm super excited for Vietnam. It's going to be, an awesome experience. I heard there's like almost 92 countries. So it's like, I mean, these are going to be the best players from basically everywhere. So yeah, going to be super cool. For now, like who knows if we'll ever get into the Olympics. That would be obviously super cool. But until then, I mean, this is kind of, the top of the top. You really can't ask for much more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Especially now, I think next year PPA is now opening up to all their players to the World Cup. So I would suspect it's going to blow up even bigger in the next few years.
Yeah. And the nice thing is with that contract, you're still eligible. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm still eligible. And yeah, shout out to the PPA. I know Connor Pardo and Chris Patrick for giving me, the exemption and allowing me to not only can be able to finish the NPL for the rest of the year, but, allowed me to, go to the World Cup and represent my country. So, very thankful for them and everything they do for the PPA, but, allowing me to still represent the country is a pretty cool thing. So very thankful.
Absolutely. And we'll do one quick final question for maybe some aspiring either young players or like me, who's a little bit older than you, but starting to push on that like 5.0 button now. What's one of the kind of the main fundamentals you think is a big difference between, like, say, not even necessarily a pro, but say like a 5.0 advanced and like, say, a 4.5 player?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing, and I try to teach this a lot in the clinics and private lessons that I do, is I think the transition game is like one of the most important aspects of pickleball that I think goes unnoticed as you get better. Everybody can hit a drive. Like most people around like 4.5, 5.0, 5.5, like everybody can like dink decently well. But I think the main thing is like, can you transition well to the kitchen line like consistently? Like the more that you can get into the kitchen, I think like the more opportunities you have at the higher level against better players to really earn points. And I've watched plenty of 5.0 matches for plenty of students of mine, and most of the time they just lose matches because they just don't get into the net as much as the other team. If you're only getting in 3 out of every 10 times, you're around the similar skill level and they're getting in, 7 to 8, like you're just going to lose more points. Like everybody at the kitchen, it's probably 50-50 if you're actually playing against, similar level opponents. But I really think the transition game is something really big for those, trying to get better, trying to get to the next level. And, you'll hear it from a ton of top pros saying, that's really what differentiated us in this game is we won this because we just got in. And sometimes that's all it really comes down to.
Absolutely. Any final question for you, Vic?
No, that's all. I think that answer.
I put you on the spot there, Vic. I had notes for you, and then I totally went off book there. All right, so we won't take any more of your time up, Brian, because you do have a young budding family, so we'll let you get back to them. If anyone wants to see Ryan play before the World Cup comes, he will be at the season finale of the CNPL on August 29th and 30th, playing for the first place London Smash right now, see if they can completely lock up that. They got a decent lead right now on the Rapids, but a little bit more space never hurts, right, Ryan?
Yep, we're just gonna go in there and play our butts off and just hopefully we can keep the lead and go from there. It should be a lot of fun. I've never been to Vancouver, so super excited to be out there exploring and playing in front of all those cool fans.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time. Congratulations once again on the new addition to the family, all the contract, the success you've been having, and we can't wait to see you compete for Canada at the World Cup later in September.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, and good luck for the end of the CNPL. Hopefully you win the cup this year.
Thank you so much. I mean, that would be the best ending possible before leaving for PPA. So
you know what? I honestly totally forgot to mention that would be like the icing on the cake for this season too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So be super cool. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you guys in Vancouver. We'll see.
I don't know, because I'm actually gonna be playing at National, so I unfortunately won't be there. Vic, and I think Vic, you're in the middle of moving.
Ontario, so
yeah, he's moving.
I'm moving the other way.
Oh my god!
But I'll be watching you guys in between my own games, so we'll definitely be keeping up to date on that, and hopefully we're working with Jason to hopefully get a live stream going for you guys when you're in Vietnam.
Oh, amazing.
So.
Amazing. That'd be super cool.
We're working on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was this close to coming. I just ran out of RTO.
I get it.
I was supposed to actually
come
until the military decided to put me into Ontario. So I was like, whatever.
All right. Perfect. Thank you once again, Ryan. Good luck on the rest of the season. Good luck in Vietnam. We'll be cheering for you on both sides of it.
Great. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.